Good afternoon, everyone. Previous session, we start to learn about the meaning of colony. The meaning of colony. See, dear students, we all of you knows that the British and including British, there were so many Europeans. They were came to our country and they were conquer and even so they were established their rule in our country, and not only the Europeans and even the not only the British. So there are so many others also before enter the Europeans since the beginning, since there are so many invaders many times. Okay, but now we are talking about, so after that that means almost we are talking about when the Europeans, so they were entered our country. See, here among all Europeans, the British people they were ruled our country for a long time, and the maximum of the subcontinent, so it was under the control of the British Empire. So here the British people, so they conquer and established their rule and subjugating local Nawabs and Rajas. Subjugating the local Nawabs and even the Rajas. See how they established their control over the economy and society, and how they were extended their territory, extended their territory throughout our country. So all these things, so we are going to learn in this year. All these things, so we are going to learn in this year. So how they established control over the even the economy and society also, and how they were controlled the other kings and other states. And also, dear students, so we are going to learn the different policies, whatever they were followed and implemented in our country. See, the collected revenue to control over the, especially revenue also. So you know that during colonial period or during British administration, they were introduced so many types of, and they were collected the different types of revenue. So here they were collected revenue to meet all their expenses, not to do something for the local people. I mean for the Indians. See, whatever the British rulers, so they were collected revenue, so that is only for to meet all their expenses, and also bought the goods they wanted at low prices. They bought goods also. How? For low prices. They wanted at low prices. See, the produced crops, what kind of crops they were produced here? Whatever they needed for their export, not to meet the requirements or the requires of the local people or the subcontinent people or the Indians. See what a beautiful things. Bought the goods they wanted at low prices, and even produced crops, so they needed for export to export for their purpose. And also we are going to understand the changes that came about as a consequence. So especially The British rule brought about in values and taste, customs and practices. They brought lot of changes in their administration. See, during British administration, so there we can see a lot of changes. They brought lot of changes about values, about taste, about customs, about practice, everything. So when the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of political, economic, social, and cultural changes. So this we used to refer to the process as whatever this process are there no. So this process as colonization. This process as colonization. Are you getting now? See, when the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kind of political, economic, social, cultural, and so on so the changes. So this we refer to the process as colonization. This is what the process of colonization. So, however, we will find that all classes and groups did not experience these changes in the same way. So, that is why this book is called Our Pasts in the Plural. The name of our textbook, the name of our textbook is called as not our past. This is about our pasts in the plural. Are you getting now? See, this is all about. So it is very clear that colonization means so if the country, if the one respective area, if it is go through the changes by another person or by another country, those who are not the part of the subcontinent or the part of the country or the part of the so the changes such as political, economic, cultural, and even the social, economic, so on, so this, so and so, and these refer as this process is there now, and this process as colonization. So colonial means if the country is ruled by any other country, one country or one physical region, it is going to ruled by the another one country. So that we used to call as a colonial ರೂಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ವಸಾಹತು ಶಾಹಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Right? You are all very clear about so the meaning of colonial and the process of colonization. The process of colonization. See, dear students, what sources do historians use in writing about the last 250 years of our Indian history? The last 250 years of our Indian history. What sources do historians they were used to write the last 250 years of Indian history? So that we are going to learn in this. Administration produces records. Administration produces records. So you all of you knows that one important source is the official records of the British administration. This is what? Because administration produces the records. Administration produces records. So under the colonial rule, so I mean under the British rule, actually, so the official records are became more important sources of history. Are you getting now? So the official records were So one of the most important source, whatever they were maintained in their administration. Are you getting now? Whatever they were maintained in their administration. The official records. See, the official records are considered as one of the most important sources, source of the specially British administration because they were maintained official records. See, the British believed that the act of writing was important. The act of writing was important. According to British, and they were believed also, the act of writing, it was so important. Every instructions, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation had to be clearly written up during the British administration. So according to British, so the British administrators, so they believed that the act of writing, the act of writing, so it's so much important. Even nowadays also, dear friends, instead of orally, if you are or if we are maintain the written records of anything, of any matter, so that's become more important and more significant. See here, every instructions, how they were maintained now during British administrations, during British administrations. So every instructions, all kind of instructions, what in the present governments are following the official ways to maintain the records the same way they were maintained. Every instructions, plan, even the plan also, and even the policy also. So instruction, plan, policy, and also decision, and also agreement, and also investigation, and also investigation. See all these things, the variety, whatever it may be. So the official process is there now. Whatever the British government they were started, so they were believed that the act of writing is very much important. So that's what they were maintained everything officially in the written form. So all kinds of instructions, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation, and so things had to be clearly written up during the British administration. See, once this was done, the things could be properly studied and debated because it is in the written form. So there is a clear, there is a clarity, there is no confusion. So once this was done, things could be properly studied and debated because it is very clear, because it is in written. And this conviction produced an administrative culture of whatever we are nowadays following in all structures such as memos, notings, and reports. So these convictions are there now. So produced an administrative culture of, even you know that in a school level, even in an administrative level, everywhere, in every office, whether private or government, so they are following the administration culture, receiving the letters, issuing the memo, notice, circulars, reports, and so on and so things. This is all what? This is all what? So an administrative culture. Even in school level, even in educational institutions, even in a government level also, even in private association, organization. See, if the things or the any organization, government or association and so on so things, so to run in a smooth way clearly and to pass the message one stage to another stage, so if it is there in the written form, so then there is no confusion and even it is officially the perfect one, and this is what, so whatever this conviction or the maintenance of all this since the British period, so this conviction produced an administrative culture until today we are following and we are continuing, and it is the pakka one and the perfect one to study or to debate and discuss about on that particular. So, dear students, the British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. Whatever they are communicated with the different official levels or with the different levels of the government, with anyone, see, the act of writing is most important one, and the same way the British also felt that, so the maintenance of the records, the maintenance of the documents, the maintenance of the letters, it's also very much important. So the maintenance of the records, the maintenance of the letters or documents, so that's also needs to be preserved a very careful way. So they set up record rooms also, even in a government offices, even in school, college, in any educational institution, whatever is their organization, ಸಂಘ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ರೂಮ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. So this they were set up. So they set up record rooms attached to all administrative institutions. See, the village, maybe even the present days also there we can see the Tehsildar's office, and the collectorate, bill collectors, and even in the Gram Panchayati also. And even so, the commissioner's office from the village onwards, whether in taluk level, whether in at present in a Gram Panchayati level, so even in the commissioner office, in the provincial secretaries, and the law courts also, the judiciary system. See, all had their record rooms. They are having their own record rooms, and it's necessary also. Whatever they were communicated, whatever they were received, they were sent, they were debated, they were discussed, they were taken decision all about all these things, whether instructions, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation, or order received by or issued by. See, this is all. So here, even in the Gram Panchayat level, even in a taluk level, even in a district level, and even in a provincial level also, even in a law courts also, so they all had their record rooms. Specialized institutions like archives and museums were also established to preserve important records. We are observing, we are watching, we are looking, even the present days also. There are so many archives, and then even there are so many museums where we can see. So the important records are preserved in that archives and then museums. See, letters and memos that moved from one branch of the administration to another branch in the early years of the 19th century can still read in the archives. It's still, see, during that time, during 18th century, during 19th century, whatever they were communicated with one branch to another branch, so all those things, even in early days, and even till today also, so we can read in the archives. We can read in the archives. So last class only, I mean last year we learned that archive means where the important official documents and records are preserved, and those places used to called as a archives. Those places used to called as a archives. See, you can also study the notes and reports the district officials prepared. The district officials prepared. So they are common, and even the institutions and even the directives that were sent by the officials at the top to the provincial administrators. So this is all. If you are going to take the state government or central government, so the government at a different level also till the local self government. So whatever they were issued, the order and so things. Okay, see that's what is very much important. See, dear students, in the early years of 19th century, these documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by calligraphists. See, what happened now? What happened now? So, during early years of the 19th century, so these documents were carefully copied and beautifully written by calligraphist. Calligraphy means that is the art of and beautiful writing used to called as a calligraphy. See, an art of beautiful writing used to called as calligraphy, and those who are writing that beautiful handwriting, so for those we used to call as a calligraphist. See, that is by those who specialized in the art of beautiful writing by the middle of the 19th century. See, with the spread of printing, so the multiple copies of these records were printed as proceedings of each government departments. So you know that during this period, so the printing press also invented, and here, so because of the spread of the use of spread of printing, so the multiple of these copies or these records were printed as the proceedings of each government department also, dear students. So in this, we can understand that whatever the British officials they were started during their administration about the maintenance of the records, that's become most important. And not only the maintenance of the different records or letters or so on so things, even preserving and keeping that is also very much important. So by this we can understand that the importance of how administrations produces records. Thank you. Have a nice day.